Grafting, the 100-year-old buttery avocado tree of my dreams. Is it possible? In this video, we're gonna find out. Let's get right into it. This amazing variety of avocado is reaching 100 years old. And as you can see, you can tell that it's been around for quite some time now. A couple of big branches have broken off, as you can see right there, through some of the big storms that we have had recently. And even some of the bugs are starting to get this tree, such as termites and possibly even the ants. So I want to save this specific variety of avocado because it's absolutely delicious, buttery, and very thick. The meat in the avocado is very thick and the seed is medium-sized to small. Climb this tree with me and we're gonna get two cuttings on the side that faces the sun right here. We're gonna get two cuttings from right there. You can see all the new shoots coming out this season with all the red leaves. Those are all the baby shoots. And these are the perfect ones to use for grafting. I'm gonna get those two cuttings right there. The ones without the flowers. I got them. Just snip them off with some simple pruners. This awesome avocado tree is growing on the edge of a gulch. As you can see down there. It's pretty steep and pretty dangerous actually to be up on this tree. But totally worth it to save this variety of avocado. In the top 3 best avocados that I ever ate. And I've eaten tons of different varieties. So let's find out if we can save this variety. And I'm gonna make 2 grafts today. Once we have our cuttings that we're gonna graft, the next thing we need to do is start pinching off the leaves. And in this example, I already prepared my cuttings at the location I was at because they are super sensitive once we cut them, right? So you only have a limited time to actually graft the pieces. So these are just example pieces that I'm gonna show you what I did at the location. So once you got the cuttings, we just pinch off the leaves. Just like so. And this is an avocado example right here. This is just a different variety. Once you get all the leaves pinched off, then what we can do is I usually just snip the top. At the very top, you can just snip a little piece off right there. And all we really need is 2 or 3 buds at the top. You know, as long as one catches, we're pretty good to go. So my pieces from the location, I just had a paper towel, added some water. After I made the cuttings and pinched off all the leaves, I just placed them in a Ziploc bag with a damp towel. And I roll it up. And I'll usually put it in a cooler or, you know, in the fridge. And then that way it can last a little bit longer. Ideally, if you're going to graft an avocado, you want the buds to not have been reaching out yet, to sprout yet. They're kind of right in that stage where they're ready to shoot out. That's the ideal timing of the avocado buds. If you can get it around that timing, that's a great timing. And roughly you could use like, you know, 6 inches. A cutting of 6 inches is pretty good already. And what you're basically doing is you're going to attach the new shoot from the variety of avocado you want onto a rootstock. which is basically just an avocado seed that you planted already in a pot, and you're going to cut off the top. As in this example right here, right? So you pop the seed in a pot, and then when it comes out, now we're going to cut, because this variety of an avocado could be any variety, right? When you plant avocados from seed, they're usually not true to their parents, whatever their parent variety was. So it's kind of a crapshoot when you plant avocados by seed. And if you want to get the same variety, right, this is where grafting comes in. So what I'll do is I'll snip this off right about there. And then I'm going to use a technique called the whip style of grafting, which is basically just using a grafting knife. You could use, I guess, a regular knife. Just make sure it's sharp and don't cut your fingers. So what you want to do is, I'm going to wrap this in parafilm, and then we're going to cut it at an angle, just one slice at an angle, and I'm going to cut the rootstock too. So right here, this is a type of grafting tape they call parafilm, and it basically, you use these to wrap your new cuttings. And you can just tear a piece, you know, about, say like 6 or 8 inches is fine. And then what we do is, I'll leave about an inch, I'll leave around an inch on the end open, but then I'll start wrapping it diagonally up. I don't know if you can see that there. Okay. So we just want to wrap it about one time, one layer, and we want to hold the moisture from the cutting inside, right? So that the cutting doesn't dry out. This is why we use parafilm. Actually, towards the top, you see the top, right? We can just snip the top right off. We only need a few buds towards the top, so just like that. Give a little trim. Let me wrap it. If you face the scion towards you, the top towards you, and you wrap it, it's a little bit easier. With the wrapped, I like to just cut little tiny slits where the buds are, right? Just give them little slits so that the buds can pop right through when they catch. Okay. Okay. Okay, that's good. Then once we have our scion, I'm just going to cut it at an angle. Can you see that? Whoa, let me see. Right here may be easier. Oh my God. There we go. roughly right about there. And then what you want to do with the graft, right? You want the cambium layer to be touching the rootstock cambium layer. The two cambium layers to line up and match. Because that's like the blood vessels of the plants. So once you can match just that outer ring outside of the center to match with the other rootstock, you know, and you wrap it pretty tight, it has a better chance of catching. You want to line up the cambium layers. So once we got this, now I can take this one and then we make it right around the same. Let's see if I can hold it close. It's kind of tricky to hold it like this, but oh, I can't do it like that. Let me see, like this. Whoa. I can't do it. Oh, I have to do it like this. Okay. Right like that. There we go. Once we got the two pieces to match up at an angle, just like that. Hi. Here we go. You can see that it's cut at an angle. And this is called the whip style of grafting. So I cut the scion at the same type of angle so that it lines up as best as we can. Right, and then now I'll tape this with just regular grafting tape. Ideally, you want the scion and the rootstock to be around the same diameter so that it, you know, the cambiums can both touch each other quite evenly. And what we want to do is, as we wrap the cut parts of the graft, we want to make sure that it's bonded tight with your grafting tape. So that they're compressing quite tightly. I'm gonna wrap it with parafilm also, just to keep in the moisture. And there you have it. We have our first graft done. I got it taped tightly right here where the bond is going to take place. And then we got parafilm wrapped up to hold the moisture in. And then now I'll place this in a more shady spot where it can get some sunlight, but mainly just shade so that it can heal. And then after a few weeks, we'll see how it looks. On to the second piece. With this rootstock, it was growing maybe a little bit longer than I wanted to, so that it grew bottom branches down here, as you can see, which they call the suckers. Ideally, you don't want these to be growing when you're doing any grafts. So we'll just snip them right off, right down here, because they compete with the top branch, right? These guys compete and they take a lot of nutrients and energy from the plant. So we don't really want these guys, even if you're just trying to grow an avocado from seed. You usually don't want the bottom suckers to be growing. Most people just trim them right off. But this guy, we're going to cut this guy also, and then we're going to graft our second piece using a different type of grafting style called the cleft style. I got some pre-cut pieces right in here that I prepared. This one, let's see, what about there? And so this guy, we want to match the diameter to this one, which is kind of high actually. It'd be quite high. I believe I can cut it lower because the cleft style might be able to work. Right here. That's about the same, yep. So we'll cut this one a little high. So with the cleft style of grafting, what we'll do is on the rootstock, I'll cut a slice nearly in the middle down, just cut it down, right? In half almost. And then I'll cut the scion kind of like this, the scion, so that it'll wedge right in between the rootstock, right? The rootstock will be like this and the scion will be like that. I'll also snip off the top of this. See this? This is the very top. I'll just snip off the top so that there's just two little bud shoots right there on the top. You only need 2 or 3 bud shoots to actually make it. I'll leave some links down below in the description box on a good grafting kit that you can use. I got my grafting kit right here, which it came with this tape right here. And this one is, you know, it comes with some wax too. If you're doing any type of avocado trees, bigger fruit trees, when you cut, say, the top, you know, it's kind of like a wound, right? So you can seal it with wax. You can also use water-based paint. People use paint. And this kit is an old school kit, so I had it for a while. The kits now are a little bit newer. They got different things, but it still works. Okay, once we got that wrapped, again, I'll just cut tiny slits where the buds are gonna pop out. So you just go really lightly, just to cut a little slit so they can easily pop out. And then now we'll cut it to a point. Let me see. And what you want to do too is look at, you know, you got to kind of look at the shape and try and line up the shape, right? You see how this one's kind of curved, the scion. So you want to try and match it, probably something like that, right? To where you could, as long as you match up the cambium layers, you're going to be good to go. And as long as you get one side of the cambium layer, you don't need both sides of the cambium layers. As long as you catch one side and it catches, it'll work. So I'm going to do it like this. Let me see if I can do it up close. So right about there. See that? This right here, both sides at an angle, and it'll wedge down, right in between. I'm actually going to cut this lower. A little bit easier. Once we got it in, now I'll just wrap it up with the grafting tape again. We call this variety the Paniolo variety of avocados, planted by my grandfather nearly 100 years ago. Amazing strain, absolutely one of the best ones I have ever eaten. I'm biased, by the way. No, seriously, in the top 3 of the best avocados I have ever eaten. So this is definitely a variety that I had to save and propagate. What I'm gonna do though right now is I'm gonna pop them in a little bit better of a pot, because I just mixed some new soil. And stay tuned for that video, because that video is coming out shortly on how I mix my soils and what type of ingredients do I add in my soils to give me phenomenal results. I'll pop these guys in new pots right now, add some of my soil mixture, and then we'll put them on the side and they're good to go. Okay. So, this is my good soil mix I have in here, and this will help them to give them the nutrients that they need. I'll just pour it like this. I add red lava rock into my soil mix. Is one of the magical ingredients I love to add, because I notice most of the types of foods that I grow, vegetables and fruits, seem to love the cinder rock, which you can use pumice rock if you can find it, right? Pumice rock works great. I use very tiny size pumice rock, lava rock. So I put that in the bottom like that, like so, a little bit more. Okay. I'll turn this guy, actually pour him. I'll just pop it out right here. Whoa. I'll just put them in here. Okay, perfect. Now, I'll just add that's cool. Perfect. Just like that, we got one done. I got some sweet potatoes even popping out in my avocado. They must have jumped over and rooted into my avocado. If you haven't seen my sweet potato harvest video, then I'll leave links above and down in the description box for that video. Check that video out, because I pulled off a ton of sweet potatoes in a tiny amount of space using simple moving containers. You can also go check out my ginger and turmeric harvest that I did in the same spot where I grew tons of food in a tiny amount of space as an experiment I did to see how much food could I grow on a budget. And I pulled off many, many pounds of food. Okay. Perfect. I'm doing this right now to help just boost the nutrient content into the avocado, because with my freshly mixed soil right here, it has organic fertilizers and compost in it, which will help to boost the nutrients to help heal the wound in the avocado grafts. And just like that, I'll put these guys off to the side and we'll see in a few weeks how they look. If you enjoyed this video and would like to learn more on how you can grow tons of food in your backyard in a tiny amount of space, then watch this video right here, where I share with you how I grew pathetic tiny ginger until one soil secret changed everything. Watch this video right here and I'll see you there.